Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Alan Smith, the channel where I get to share my hobby time with you guys. And today I am going to continue working on the Stormtroopers, Star Wars Legion. I also wanted to show you real quick here my walkers. I didn't shoot any video on this. This is a kind of just a project I wanted to crank out. They turned out really good. I'll show you here under the close cam, and I'll show you the different shades that I used, and then on the base, see if we can get you to show you the base here. I did like a muddy, swampy, jungly texture, and you see that little bit of shine there. This was where I finally got to use the matte top coat, and it didn't turn out it was not matte. Right, it had a little bit of shine to it, and I thought, well, I'll just put it aside. At some point in the future I'll be able to use it for something as a water effect, and that's what I did here. This matte worked out perfectly. It makes it look like a muddy, mucky swamp with that little bit of shine. You can see, right? Worked out great. So what did I use? Well, I started off with some natural steel. I got an old brush. Now this is one of those brushes I've told you about before. You can get these at any Hobby Lobby by the bag. Various sizes of cheap and inexpensive brushes. And just did a nice dry brush with natural steel, starting with a base coat of black, right? And then I came in and alternated with neutral gray and light gray, right? Again, just more dry brush. And the way that I achieved that effect of the little bit of shine of the metal, I came back at the very end and did a little bit more dry brushing with the natural steel, and you can see here just little hinges or hints of steel coming through. So you see where I did the light gray here, and then this is the neutral gray. I also have dark gray, but it ended up being too dark. I tried a couple of spots with that, kind of just you know, messing around, see how that looked, and just went back in with the neutral gray, so that way it gives this nice worn effect, even an effect of rain, you know, washing down some of the gray tones, right? So I picked up 2 of these. I thought this would be a really great point of a fight, is taking out these 2 walkers. I'll definitely need to collect more rebels to take on these guys, but I was thinking about even buying some Ewoks, right? Getting a kit of the Ewoks, and here's the second one. See how he turned out, right? Right. So I'm really happy how these turned out. I had to play with the tones, and then I used, let's show you what I used. It's a pigment, so it's like a dry powder, and this says medium rust, but what I did was I used the medium rust with some water mixed in to make it look and act like mud, and then I came back in with the dry brush of the medium brown, right? That this medium rust, once it got wet, it actually got really, really dark. I have another rust shade in here, and it was a little too light. I really wasn't going for the rust effect. I really wanted that muddy muck type effect that I ended up accomplishing, right? So it worked out really well. I have some of my trees that I've made for my N-scale train layout, and thought, hey, this is a perfect crossover from model railroading to model building, right? So that worked really well. The walker for the Rebels, I magnetized the weapons, right? There's 3 different weapons. I had to get out my Dremel and do some do some conversion. As you can see here, it's ready to go. I can put different weapons on this thing. So I had to basically carve out. Make sure you guys can see that good. We'll go in on the shot here a little bit. You can see where I had to carve out that front, right, to get the magnet up there. That was the smallest magnet sets that I had, and so I need to buy some really tiny little magnets. I'm in the process of chasing those down right now. I actually want to get a set online. I found some from Amazon that comes with assorted earth magnets, rare earth magnets in different sizes. That's, you know, a shadow of the old Flames of War builds I used to do, where I would magnetize the turrets and things, right? So that's worked out really good. So we're going to grab our pretty much almost done leader fig, right? And the kit comes with 2 leader figs for 2 different platoons. And I'm going to show you real quick what I'm doing, you know, to get this process kind of quick and smooth. Still looks good on the board. So I started with a white base coat. You can't tell it. Then I did a black wash. Did a black wash. Then I did a dry brush with the white, with Vallejo white. And now I'm going to go back through and we are going to hit all of the top sun facing surfaces to brighten them up more, so we get a really nice contrast going on. And we'll get things going on here, right? Drinking a lot of water today. I spent the whole day out on the lake with some friends yesterday, and oh, we got roasted by the sun. We had tons of sunscreen on, and just did a lot of swimming, hanging out with other boaters in an area where there was literally probably 100 boats. Drinking some beers. We ordered pizza. They went back to the dock, picked up some pizza. So it was a good time. But whew, that sun was strong yesterday, guys. So we're going to go in with the white. I'm going to check the consistency here. I think we're going to be okay. I think it's not too thick and it's not too thin. I'm going to go in with my trusty Wargamer Regiment and get rid of the glasses here so I can see what I'm doing. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here today. So I'm going to, well, that was a mistake. So I got to come in with this German orange to designate him as a leader, so I shouldn't be painting that. I just caught myself before I spent time and I wasted paint on that. So, to the top of his helmet. Yeah, I'm going to need a white light in that up a little bit, guys. So let's go in with a little water. 1 drop. Maybe 2 little drops. And we'll mix that up. I love these new blue mats I got, guys. So I got rid of the paper towel because it just wasn't giving us a good contrast on the colors. And they also sell these in like orange, gray. I think when these get huffed and get all bad, so to speak, I'll try orange next. Right. So yeah, it feels good to be painting again. So I'm basically just hitting all the high spots, all the spots that want to cover up those little black highlights. I'm really liking that effect. I'm going on the shot a little bit more here for you guys, so you can see what I'm doing more. Right. Being really careful not to get too deep up into the recesses. And then what I'm going to do is I'll come in with some black and get underneath their shoulders. I'll highlight the black. I'll kind of do a little dry brush onto the gun, and then a very light dry brush at the end. You know, we'll do the black band across the helmet, and we will do just a really light dry brush along the top of the blaster with a little natural steel, right? Just like you'd see on a well-used military rifle, right? So I'm basically just coming in right along the creases and the edges, and I'm leaving that nice black wash intact, right? It really gives it a really cool effect. So they come up right along here, and along the black of his glove, and his thumb. Let the top of the helmet dry a little bit, put another coat on. Obviously that's going to get a lot of wear over the years. And I'm going to come down along his leg panels, armor panels, right? The front panel. And his knee pad right there. Boom. Up here along the top of this. I hope everybody's been doing well. Right? Even with all the craziness that's going on in the country and in the world, let's hope they get places back up and running. I know places like South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, they're letting people be adults and they can keep their businesses open if they so desire, and realizing that you can't shut things down. You got to let this virus run its course, right? And it's coming to our knowledge that the numbers they've been putting up are not accurate, and the death rate is being attributed to a lot of people who really didn't die from COVID. They just died from things they already had. And like most, sickly people, when you get the flu, it just finishes you off like pneumonia. But you look at the chart of pneumonia and flu cases plummeted about the exact same time the COVID infections went up. It's amazing. All of a sudden there was no more flu and pneumonia. You guys believe what you want to believe, but I'm not buying it. And I spoke with several medical people. I have a lot of customers on my route who are surgeons and doctors and nurses, and talking to them, they say this is just another strain of SARS. And they didn't need to shut the world down. So who knows, guys, what's really going on behind the scenes. All I know is I'm just a pawn just like you in the game. We have to keep our heads up. We don't have any control over what's being done. So yeah, it's a good plan to just, if you're still working, work. Put your blinders on. Put your blinders on and just keep moving forward, and just hopefully this will all pass. And there'll be a lot of pent-up demand, and the economy will recover. You see basically what I'm doing. I'm just kind of just using a little discretion. I'm just coming through and picking out little spots of white, getting his all his little panels done. Right. So I'm really liking that. Really liking that. And that, oh, I tell you that that German orange has turned out to be the perfect color for the leaders. Right. They're starting to shape up. Corner here. Just kind of keep turning them around. Maybe put a little under here. I'll tell you guys, I can't wear those damn masks. I bought one of those ones that goes around your neck that you can pull up. It's like elastic because it's really thin. So when I have to go into a store to get something, I can comply. I don't want to deal with. I don't want to cause the employees grief, really. I can't breathe in those damn things. I had to go to a local salon to have my hair done, have it cut and whatnot. And I prefer that. Well, she's technically a barber, but these higher end salons, they just do a much better job, I think. They're not in for the quick cut. They really do a good job of doing a nice trim. But they have those masks you get like stick on your face with like sticky tape. And I tell you, 30 minutes after 30 minutes, I can't, when I'm trying to talk to the hairdresser, I'm having trouble with my thoughts and putting sentences together. When I get out of there, I feel like I'm starting to get a headache, right, from breathing my own carbon dioxide for almost an hour. Now, I'm not going to give them grief. If I want my hair cut, I have to put a mask on, right? But you think, I work outside for a living. I'm used to having lots of oxygen, lots of air. I got a lot of lung capacity when I'm exerting myself, and I really am breathing deep. And I'm used to having a lot of air, right? So my body's used to that, and now that if you go in someplace and I have to wear a mask, man, I tell you, it's hard. It's hard on me. I guess I could go to my doctor and say, hey, I can hardly breathe these masks. It's really making it hard to breathe, and he would probably write me some kind of note, right? But I'm just limiting what we're doing. We're probably going to go on another bike ride here probably next weekend if my son doesn't come home to visit. We haven't seen him for almost a month. He lives and works in downtown Cleveland. He's been working from home. He's a financial analyst, and their business has been doing good. But the company he works for is mostly invested in Southeast Asia. And he said it's just booming over there. They didn't do any of this stuff. Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, South Korea, all the places they do business in. They did not get involved in this stuff. They did targeted quarantine. So if you were sick, you couldn't go out. If you had the mild symptoms, if you're a person that got more severe symptoms, they treated with oxygen tents like altitude sickness. And then we're come to find out through these medical professionals, the ventilators were making it worse. there were several doctors discovered that oxygen therapy was much more effective. I forget the hydroxychloroquine or whatever the stuff's called, and the zinc. And my multivitamin I take every day. It's got 100% of the daily allowance of zinc in it. So you guys should be taking vitamins every day, especially younger guys, because when I was younger, some days I just ate one good meal a day because I was just so busy, and I was a knucklehead. I was young. I didn't think I had to eat. I was a skinny little guy. I worked in a warehouse at one time, and then of course I started working for Kimlon outside, and I didn't take care of myself like I should have, but that way you got a buffer. In the evenings when we have our dinner, we take what's actually a fish oil supplement with fish oils, right? So you're getting the benefits from fish, and also a multivitamin, right? And I'll tell you, knock on wood, I've been with my wife 27 years, and I don't think I've even had a common cold. There's been days when I've gone to bed and I kind of feel like I've got something coming on in my throat, or I have some congestion, and I get a good night's sleep, go to bed at 8, get up at 5, and I'm like a new man. And the next morning, have a couple cups of coffee, and I think, oh yeah, I was feeling like I was getting something coming on yesterday. So my body fought it off over the night while I was sleeping, right? So I've got this guy just about done, about where I want him. And this is where your artistic abilities come out. You just kind of look at him and say, hey, you know, I think that's about where I want to be with this guy, right? Let's do another guy or so here. Let me grab this guy. He's got his blaster up and firing, right? I still have a few 28 mil. Some of the stuff I was going to do, historicals over here, I was going to do as a like maybe mini dioramas on a multi-base, things that I've gotten for free, well, included with my War Games Illustrated. But I just couldn't hold back. I was watching the Star Wars movies, all of them, all through, and I was like, you know what, I got to get this on the channel, right? I got to get some sci-fi on the channel. We can't just be historicals. Now I can lure some of you younger guys in. I do plan on getting some of the new 40K kits, and I'm going to do a video upcoming here where we sit down, probably in the office, and I'll put my top-down camera at my work desk, and I will go through all of my old Warhammer stuff that I bought in 1988 and 1989, right? I'll show you all those old models, and you can see, I think they call them the Mach 4 helmets, I'm not positive. Put in the comments below, Stugmaster, the helmets they had with the more of the pointy nose, right? And look forward to here later today. I'm going to be doing a video on top 20 selling war games of 2020. We're going to take a look at the most popular game systems out there, right? But 40K is up there. It's the top, and the models are great. They have really good models. I like to just, even if I just got some of their really cool models, just for collecting and putting in the display case, right? That's how good their models are. So this is shaping up nice. And bolt action's coming to the channel up the road here. I'm going to learn to play the and pick up and play the bolt action rules, but I'm also going to explore on here on the channel the 28 mil strain of battle group. You know, we play primarily 15 millimeter. The game was kind of focused on 20 millimeter. There's all these scales out there. It's kind of crazy, but Jason, who we play battle group with, he uses it, the rule set for the 28 mil figs, also skirmish style, right? Where you're talking a smaller, maybe like a 4x4 board, and then using the battle group rules, right? There's been a lot of questions on the battle group Facebook about using it for 28 mil skirmish, and Jason says it works fine. And so we're gonna look at that at some point here. We'll see how that works. Along there. I might have to come in with a more wash on this because I didn't get a lot of gathering of the wash around where the little slats and things are in the face, so I might have to come back in with some black wash and redo that. That's something that is part of this experimentation. So in the future, when I buy more Stormtroopers, I think one of the tricks was I hit it with a black wash, and then you can see on some of these I've had to come back in with more black wash. So what I'm doing is I'll take the black wash, let it dry, then I come back and I look at them and say, did it get into all the nooks and crannies like I needed to? And if not, I hit it again so that I'm getting the black in the eyes and along the slats in the helmet here, right? And I'm getting that nice effect. Now a lot of guys, you know, they're starting with a black base coat. I just wanted to try this. I thought the wash on a white base coat would give it a cool effect. Right? It's just all personal preference. And like I said before, I like to just experiment with stuff. And but you could achieve a similar result by doing a black base coat, right? And that's what I did with the Rebels. I started with a black base coat, right? Just doing some experimentation, which is part of the fun, right? We were at the boat ramp yesterday. Nobody around. I mean, as far as, you know, the way the boats are spaced, people taking in and out their boats. You know, some guy going along. He's got his mask on and he's just down in the water hooking his boat up so he can pull it out. Nobody's not even 20 feet away from him. And I'm like, dude, why are you wearing a mask? If they're claiming it's in the air, which is ridiculous to start with. It doesn't just float in the air. But if it did, the virus particles are so small they would go right through your mask. You'd have to have a military style respirator, they say, to truly filter out viruses. And in the ICUs around the country, they wear an oxygenated respirator that's hooked up to an oxygen tank, right? They don't even wear a mask. They wear a true respirator, right? So I don't know, guys. It's freaking nuts. Everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid. They just do as they're told. No pushback. Everybody's just, oh, everybody's afraid. So I guess every virus we get now, when this morphs, as every virus does, they get different flu strands every year. They get different pneumonia strands every year. Common cold. They don't even treat the common cold, guys. You go to the doctor with a common cold and they don't even do anything for you. They just say go home, get sleep, plenty of fluids, blah, blah, blah. Because the antibiotics don't even work on the common cold. Right? Like, come on, guys. But then again, you got some places, they'll arrest your ass. Right? If you're out, you really don't have, they're not giving you any choice. They're saying, do this or else. Well, I have a real problem with that. Anyway, you believe what you want to believe. If you gotta wear a mask everywhere you go, go for it. Go for it, but don't force me to wear one. If they gave me the choice and you thought masks are so great, then you just need to, you see me in the grocery store without a mask, then just stay away from me. Just stay away from me. Don't come near me. And if you're really an at-risk person, stay at home. You can order your groceries, they'll get delivered to you, and you can spray them with Lysol. And here they've shut down all these conventions. Everybody walking around like, you know, the Black Plague is floating around, right? What is it, 99.8% of people under the age of 80 recover from this. I remember at one point they said, oh, if you get it, it'll permanently damage your lungs for life. Well then, what is it, a month later they said, oh no, that's it. We're not seeing that. Well then why did they say it? To make everybody afraid. That's why. I don't know, guys, there's some really dark shit going on. Alright, so he's looking pretty cool. Right? Shit, I don't even know. I think I got some of this stuff dark enough that I don't know that I need to come in. I may have to just use a little black along that headband right across the front and then hit the gun just a little bit with some more black. And I think outside of that, I don't know that I need, because some of these guys, you can tell I can't really get underneath the shoulders and they're still nice and dark. Right? So let's clean this brush. Back of the shot here. The brush clean. And then, see my leader, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of his orange. Right? Totally got to rehydrate. Like 6 glasses of water. I probably drank 2 through the night as I woke up in the night. Didn't bring enough water out on the boat in the cooler. Only had like 2 bottles of water for my wife and I. The rest of it was beer and wine for her. Right. Note to the wise, drink plenty of water when you're out in the sun. I should know better. I work outside for a living, right? Just a tiny little dab. I'm really trying to get better at putting too much paint on the palette. Alright, it's a bad habit. Still got a little bit of white in that brush. I have to use my cleaner here real quick. I don't want you want that to start building up, guys. If you want your brush to last, just get it wet and just go along the top. It's basically like a soap, right? Get it on the bristles, right, and then you kind of rub it in a little bit, and that it takes that paint right off of those bristles, and then rinse it again. Right, perfect. It's cheap. I've had it, I don't know, two years, 3 years. And at the very end of my session, I'll hit any of the brushes that I use. I'll dip into this brush restorer and then set it on my palette to dry. And the next time I come to use my brush, and it makes your brush last 3 times longer, right? So I'm going to come in, we're going to do his shoulder pad, which is his rank insignia. I love this shade of orange. I used it with some of my SS camouflage patterns, and also I think I used it with some of my Fallschirmjägers with their camo patterns. Right. Kind of pulling the brush away so I can get a consistent finish on the paint along the edge here. On the edge. And pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. Like so. Go in on the shot for you. And it's still too much paint. Then come here along the edges. Zip. Right. Bada bip, bada bing. Alright, it's looking good. I'm happy with that. Put him off to the side. And rinse out my brush. Still too much orange. I should probably put a little microscopic drop, right? So I don't know. I'm like Stu Baster, who was saying how he and a couple other guys that I watch too, so they like to make the longer videos. I do too, guys, because look, you can't make every video 5 minutes. That's just lame. I can't even really show anything or talk about anything worth of any value in 5 minutes. Right? I mean, this isn't a freaking sitcom or something. So we're going to go in with the black now. There it is. I finally get that little sinker to come loose. It's just telling you your paint is not properly mixed, right? So we go in. I'm going to show you just a little bit more, so we'll just do a small drop of black. I'm going to come in with my Insane Detail brush to do the bands on their helmets. I'll put him off to the side. This is the guy that I did my first top coat. So you see, I take my drop when I'm doing the small brush and I kind of drag it up, and that way I don't have like a blob on the tip of my brush. I kind of really get the bristles saturated. You don't ever want to go up to the metal, guys, because that paint will get into the base of that brush and it's a lot harder to get out. So I'm going to come in and do his band. So I need a little bit more paint. Like so. I can hear my wife coming down the steps. I think we have a pork roast in the crock pot. We're going to do barbecue pulled pork with homemade barbecue sauce, coleslaw, and a big giant baked potato. See, it's almost 5 o'clock. Now she also promising me with the zucchini and the squash and things coming out of our garden right now, we're gonna get fried zucchini as an appetizer. That's gonna be good. The little mini fried zucchinis. If you guys have never tried fried zucchini, breaded fried zucchini, I highly recommend. So yeah, do the hat bands. I'm going to use a larger. Now this guy, see, I can get underneath his shoulder, so I'm going to come in and get some black in those spots, I think. Right. Yeah, that'll work good on him. Like this other model I have over here, you can't get in there. So I'll do that. Add just a little bit of contrast. Right. I might come in between his belts and doodads. Between those. And get some contrast. With this insane detail brush, guys, these things are just, I love it. This is my serious go-tos there. Right. I think that's good. Kind of just checking him out. Let's go in with this dude. He's dry enough to do his hat band. And across the top. Not too much paint on the brush. Almost like a visor will like absorb the sun, keep the sun out of their eyes. Like we dealt with on the boat yesterday, I had my full brim hat on, floating around in a life vest with my Yeti full of craft beer. Right. Come in, do the same thing here. Zip, 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 zip. I'm put this shoulder here under the shoulder and give some contrast. Dop of paint. So maybe next box of Stormtroopers I pick up, I will try to do the black base coat and then come in with the white on top. But my concern with that was you'd have to come in with almost like a buff, like a cream first and then the white, because the black will show through the white so much. So that's why I kind of went this route as my experiment. I think this is probably a good way to tackle that issue. It's always obviously hard to put white over a dark color. It's like if you move into a house or an apartment that's got a really dark color on the wall, like a green or a blue or something, it's really hard to paint it even cream or white. You have to put on some, a lot of times a primer, See what I can do with this gun with this fine brush. Just kind of hit some of the areas with the gun. Use up some of this black without busting out another brush. And like I said, I'll come back in with some of that natural steel dry brush on the gun. And let's get this guy. I got too much paint on that. So we'll do a little better this time. Zoom in on this band. Again, I got my hands on the table. You see how I'm using my pinky and really use that technique to stabilize my brush control. If you screw up and don't keep it on the line, just come back in with some more white. Hit it with the white again, and then just, you know, start over. Not the end of the world, just paint. Those are pretty tough to do. There we go. That will work. I gotta come in with some black wash around this guy's face again anyway, so, and then I'll have to touch it up with some white. Like so. And use some of his belt. And you come in and doing these highlights like this. It's definitely making the process go a little longer. Right, but I don't think there's any really like a quick way to do everything. Right here on his knees. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up for the video anyway. Go get me some more water and get back at it. If I look for my next video, I'm going to pop up on the channel, which will be the top 20 selling games in the wargaming industry for the year 2020, and get some of your feedback on the games that are in the top 20. Here's what you need to think about. Is it half historical and half sci-fi? Which is it? Take a shot in the dark, and you're going to find out on the next video. Thanks for coming along again today, guys. Stay well, stay safe. Make sure you stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.